Imagine a lonely beach on a quiet Brazilian island where João Pereira de Souza, a retired bricklayer, discovers a stranded penguin covered in oil, near death. Compassionately, João takes the penguin in, names him Dindim, and cares for him until he's well enough to return to the ocean. But João's goodbye wasn't the end of the story, it was just the beginning. If you're inspired by stories of loyalty and unexpected friendship, hit subscribe and join us for more incredible tales. João Pereira de Souza had always led a modest life. He spent his retirement in the small fishing village of Preveta on Ilha Grande, an island nestled near Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. With its turquoise waters and lush surroundings, it was an idyllic place for João to spend his golden years. And although the days were simple, they were satisfying. Joe enjoyed his routine, quietly tending to his small plot of land and helping local fishermen whenever they needed an extra hand. But on a hot day in March 2011, João's peaceful life changed forever. As he walked along the beach, his eyes were drawn to an unusual sight. Lying on the rocks, tangled in seaweed and slick with oil, was a small penguin struggling to lift its head. Joe's heart sank at the sight. The penguin's once white belly was blackened by oil, a victim of the oil pollution that occasionally plagued the coastlines. João knew he couldn't just leave the poor creature there, so he carefully wrapped the penguin in his shirt and took it home. Back at his house, João began the painstaking task of cleaning the oil from the penguin's feathers. He used gentle soap, a soft brush, and plenty of patience. Over the next week, João fed the penguin fresh fish and water, watching as it slowly regained strength. He even gave the bird a name, Dindim. Day by day, Dindim's spirit returned, and so did his appetite. He waddled around João's backyard, flapping his wings and following João wherever he went. Soon, Dindim was healthy enough to return to the sea, and João prepared to say goodbye. He carried Dindim down to the beach, watching as the penguin took one last look back before diving into the waves and disappearing into the ocean. João felt a pang of sadness, but he knew he'd done the right thing. He had saved Dindim's life, and now it was time for the little penguin to go back to his world. But João wasn't prepared for what would happen next. Months later, as João worked in his garden, he heard a familiar sound, a series of soft, high-pitched honks coming from the shoreline. He looked up, and to his amazement, there was Dindim, waddling out of the waves and back into João's yard. Somehow, the penguin had found his way back across hundreds of miles of open ocean to the man who saved his life. João was overjoyed, and so was Dindim. He stayed with João for several weeks, following him everywhere as if he'd never left. As the weeks passed, Dindim began to molt, a natural process where penguins shed their old feathers and grow new ones. During this time, penguins can't swim well, so they need a safe place to rest. Dindim found that safe place in João's backyard, where he felt secure and protected. João took care of him, feeding him fish and giving him water until Dindim's feathers had fully grown back. Then, as suddenly as he'd returned, Dindim slipped back into the ocean, leaving João's side once again. João thought it might be the last time he'd ever see his friend, but just like before, Dindim proved him wrong. The following year, at nearly the same time, João was walking along the beach when he spotted a familiar shape in the water. It was Dindim, honking and flapping his wings in excitement as he waddled toward his old friend. Once again, he had swum thousands of miles from his native habitat in Patagonia, all the way to João's little beach. And again, he stayed with João for several weeks, enjoying the warmth, care, and friendship he had found on that Brazilian island. Year after year, this incredible cycle repeated. Every spring, Dindim would return to João's beach, spending up to 8 months with him before heading back to the icy waters of Patagonia, where Magellanic penguins, like Dindim, typically reside. Each time, Dindim made the incredible 5,000-mile journey to reunite with the man who had saved him. It was an incredible act of loyalty, one that captured the hearts of João's friends and neighbors. João's story with Dindim eventually caught the attention of local and international media, and soon the story of their friendship went viral. Reporters came from all over to see the unusual bond between the humble island man and his loyal penguin friend. Scientists were astonished. They'd never seen anything like it. Penguins are generally known to return to the same breeding grounds or nesting sites each year, but to see a wild penguin return to a human, and one so far from his native habitat, was unheard of. Some animal behavior experts speculated that Dindim saw João as part of his family, as penguins are social animals that form strong bonds with their mates and young. In Dindim's mind, perhaps João had become his colony. Others suggested that Dindim's journey might be guided by an incredible sense of direction and memory, allowing him to find his way back across the vast ocean. Whatever the reason, the bond between João and Dindim was undeniable. and it left everyone who witnessed it in awe. As the years passed, João grew older, but Dindim continued to return, his loyalty unwavering. João would spend hours by the beach, waiting to spot the familiar black and white figure approaching from the waves. When Dindim arrived, the two would pick up right where they'd left off, with Dindim following João around as he tended to his chores, watched TV, or worked in the garden. One day, when asked what he thought of the relationship, João simply said, "I love the penguin like it's my own child, and I believe the penguin loves me." In those words, João expressed the depth of their connection, a connection that transcended species, language, and even the vast distances of the sea. For João, Dindim wasn't just a penguin, he was a loyal friend who returned year after year to remind him of the kindness they'd shared. Today, the story of João and Dindim stands as a testament to the powerful bonds that can form between humans and animals, even under the most unlikely circumstances. In a world filled with uncertainty, their friendship reminds us of the simple beauty of loyalty, love, and gratitude. And each year, as the people of Pereira watch the shoreline, they keep an eye out for Dindim's arrival, knowing that, against all odds, the little penguin with a big heart will come back to see his best friend. João and Dindim's story reminds us that acts of kindness can lead to connections beyond our wildest dreams. In João's backyard, a rescued penguin found not just safety, but a lifelong friend. And each year, as Dindim returns, he shows us that love and loyalty know no bounds, not even 5,000 miles of open sea. If this story warmed your heart, be sure to like, subscribe, and stick around for more incredible tales of loyalty and friendship.